everyone. I'm Lynn, and today's topic for discussion, and I did a reading on, was Volodymyr Zelensky, the leader of the Ukraine. And I am going to watch my words and not say repeated things too many times because I don't want flags. So this is who I'm talking about, this individual, throughout this reading. So real quick, before I get started, please go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps my community to grow, and it gets me noticed just a little bit more on YouTube. So, and any other platform that I'm on for that matter. I have my stuff on several platforms because censorship is such a beast, it's hard to get through it. So without further ado, let's get to this question here. It says, could you please look into the mind of Mr. Zelensky? The comedian turned into a popular president of Ukraine. According to a source, he has now fled from the Ukraine to a U.S. embassy in Poland. He's hiding out there. Wonder if it's true or just a trick to avoid more attempts on his life. The Ukraine earlier said that several assassination attempts on him had been thwarted after they were warned by people from the Russian intelligence who opposed the war. I wonder if that's really true. Was he recruited by the powers that were, and did he have a dark connection as claimed by Poo-Poo? And we know who we're talking about here. Again, I'm just trying not to say these names, guys. It's really hard to get out there. How does his specific type of religious ancestry shape his perception and affiliation? So, again, I'm phrasing all of this as delicate as I can, and what I say might not be the popular narrative out there, and just keep in mind, I'm only reporting what comes through to me, what resonates with me, what my intuition is telling me. So here I go. When I focus on this area of the world where this confrontation is going on, it's coming through to me like the Capitol and the Hunger Games. I see that reference time and time again, and it is so parallel to just our world in general, the Capitol and the people and what is going on there. I have never been to this area of the world personally, and I have no bias, I have no preconceived notion, but that's the way that this location is showing itself to me, like the Capitol at the Hunger Games. As I try to make sense of why am I seeing this? Why is this coming through to me? I understand that Ukraine, and you guys have to correct me if I'm wrong here, it's very liberal, both in the mindset and in the appearance of the people. Just a lot of obfuscation of who's doing what and the way people think and the way people believe, all those kind of things. This culture was fostered and promoted by some of the prominent influential families, and Roth is one of them. And in order to have a location that they could use, they created this. They created this environment because they wanted a pit stop for illegal activity and trade of all types, whatever it is that they may be trading. The powers that were, they have mafia enforcers also managing all of these transactions. A more conservative society would never have tolerated that kind of activity, so to get what the powers that were wanted, they had to first change the culture. And I heard this phrase pretty loud and clear, that hint, hint, America, wake up, because changing culture is the first way to create a world that you might not want to be a part of. So be careful what you're wishing for in all of the things and all the changes that are going on. You may think it's all great, but you don't realize what their intended plan is, and you won't realize it until it's too late if you do not wake up. I also see that Roth, that family line, and Zelensky have very similar religious ancestry, which combined with his popularity among the people made him a good candidate to lead this country. So he was kind of selected as a puppet to put into this role. He was recruited by the PTW a long time ago, and I do get it's true that he fled as there was a real threat on his life. I got that part of the question was also accurate. Russia has zero tolerance for the way this country that was once their land is being run. And it's their neighbor, and they don't want it around them. If Zelensky wants to be a leader, then he's going to be upheld and held accountable and responsible for the direction that this country went. Russia does have undercover spies that align with Ukraine. That's true. You're going to have that in all kinds of situations where you're going to have people who really are rebelling or working against you. Ukraine did get tipped off, And this guy, he fled as a result. He's scared and he's awaiting the PTW support so he can be relocated. This is a war, basically, of whose propaganda can reach who. And I'm here to always check your media source. And if they're repeating the same narrative on 20 other sources verbatim, and we've seen that that's happened, you'll have one channel saying something, you have a different channel. Basically, they say the same thing. They're not even creative enough to change their language. It's the exact same narrative being touted on all these different resources here. If you hear that and you hear it somewhere else and hear it somewhere else and hear it somewhere else, and these people aren't even free thinking enough to come up with their own language to explain to you what is really going on, they're most likely parrots. Take that into consideration and run that through your intuitive filter as well. And that's really all I have for this reading. Thanks so much for listening. Stay safe, everybody. And by all means, thank you for listening. Again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Bye.